I I'm back again, but this time I'm not ranting. I just finished the campaign for the first time. Yeah, game's been out for almost a year and a half now, and I just now finished the campaign. But anyways, after playing the campaign, it gave me some thoughts. The way they ended the story, they left it open. So I began thinking about a For Honor 2. Now, nothing what I'm going to say is facts or even rumors. This is just my own ideas. This is I have not heard anything on a For Honor 2. They probably do not plan on doing it. They're probably going to try and keep this game alive as long as possible. But I have some ideas on a For Honor 2 that I think could make a really good game. Now, I love the combat. I love the structure of the game. The main idea behind the game is to make a a combat that involves skill and actually tactical thinking of how you're going to play instead of button smashing like a Mortal Kombat or Soul Calibur, and you can't just blindly kill people like Call of Duty. So again, I love the structure of the game, but what I think it lacks is customization. Now, if they did a For Honor 2, I think they should take the campaign and continue it, because if they gave it a little bit more background on how everything started, it's actually a pretty solid campaign. It was very short and very bland, but if they gave it some more background and a little bit more opening, I think they could really make a really good open world campaign with For Honor. I mean, look at what they did with Assassin's Creed Origins. Origins has got a very similar combat system to For Honor. In fact, some of the executions in that game are from For Honor. Now, the biggest thing I think is if you gave it an open world concept, you'd have to implement some kind of ranged. So you could have, and my main idea for the multiplayer is build your own character. Now, most of you are like, oh no, that doesn't make any sense because every character's got different movements and yada yada. Well, what if you could build your own character with a base? So let's say you enjoy. Now, obviously, certain things would be locked to certain factions. So let's say you like the samurai, but you don't like the look of the Nobishu, but you like the weapon. So what if you could take the weapon and put it on a base character like the Kensei? So you would have the Kensei's body and look, but the weapon of a Nobishu. And then you would get the combat system of the Nobishu's weapon. Or vice versa. You like the look of the Nobishu, but you don't like the Kensei, but you like the Kensei's weapon. You swap them out. And you could go even deeper into that, saying you have a stronger movement system, but you have a slower weapon. Like it would be kind of difficult to pull off, but I think if they did it, it would make the game a lot better. Or customizing each individual piece of armor, saying you want to look like a really badass, don't give a fuck Kensei, so you take his arms off and you take his whole top body piece off, and he's just got his lower body piece on. No helmet, no nothing, just the samurai rocking the samurai ponytail and his odachi. That's it. I think they could do so much more with customization if they tried. Look at how much work they put into Assassin's Creed Origins. If they did that with For Honor and put it into a second game, they would have a franchise that they could keep going, in my opinion. Like, I mean, look at Battlefield. Battlefield's story. How many of you actually play Battlefield's story and give a fuck about what's happening? I know some people still enjoy like the Modern Warfare series from Call of Duty because that was a really good series. But the multiplayer remained the same. So there is no excuse why they can't do that with For Honor and make a For Honor 2, 3, 4, whatever. But I think in an upcoming game, you should be able to significantly increase the customization on your characters. You could even implement a ranged combat system. Now, most of you look at For Honor's combat system and go, no way. Look at how annoying the fucking shinobi is. And I agree. I think people who play a shinobi are a bitch. Especially when the only time they fight you is when they get involved in a 1v4 and they pull you. That is the most annoying thing in the game. Now, what I think should be done is you should have a choice between a ranged character and a melee character, and then your customization begins from there. You have ranged character, male, female. Boom, that's how you start. Then you look at all the different choices of weapons and the styles that come with them. And then, obviously, like, if you pick the Peacekeeper's fight style, a longsword and a dagger, you're automatically going to be put in the light armor category. But then you should get to choose what style armor you wear. I think that would be a really cool system. Because right now, you're like, oh, you fight for the Vikings, but you main a Warden. So, I mean, even if they did that, your faction shouldn't play a part in what you look like. And then if you pick a ranged character, the difference between the two should be a ranged character has normal defense against ranged and light defense against melee. Obviously, they're not supposed to be melee combat. So they would have more of an assassin type play style. If they have a bow, they could have a bow and like a short sword in their hand and, work that into it. Maybe have some combos where they shoot back at you at melee range or stab you with an arrow, things like that. And then melee characters should be weak against range but strong against melee. Or no, other way around. They should be normal defense against melee and strong against ranged. Therefore, they actually stand a chance if they get close to you. Or, trying to get close to you. So if you're maining like a Warden-like character and you've got some archer shooting at you from up top, you can run at that dude, take a couple hits, and still get there and have enough health to defend yourself against him. But there is so much potential in what could actually be done with a For Honor 2 that I would love to see it actually done. My biggest concern with For Honor right now is that they said they were not going to release new characters this year. Now, the biggest thing that has kept me in this game for so long is the characters. I love seeing new characters. I love having new combat. Now, I'm one of those people that takes this game probably way too seriously. I rage a lot. I'm a very poor loser, and my biggest thing is I love learning to fight a new character. I myself have done actual combat in real life. I'm in a foam fighting league and I'm in a metal fighting league. Now, the funny part is the best way to learn is to get your ass kicked. If you get your ass kicked a million times in the same way, you're going to learn how to defend against that way. That's why I went from not ever being able to beat a shaman to learning how to beat a shaman. Now, I think, in my personal opinion, there's 3 characters that still need a very heavy nerf, but that's just me. Moving on, though. The best way to learn is to get destroyed. It really is. Now, every time they release a new character, you get your ass kicked by that character a few times, and then you understand how they're played, and therefore you have a better defense against them. Now, I'm getting to the point where, as long as someone isn't cheesing you, like a Warden Vortex, or constantly spamming heavy cancels with a Raider, or a Kensei constantly pommel bashing you, or, the things that are just really annoying and difficult to get away from. As long as they're not doing that, I'm pretty solid against almost every character. Now that they're not going to add any more characters, I think they should really think about that. I think at the end of this year, in the final season that they put in for this year, they should release 3 characters. And in my opinion, I think they should all be Vanguards or Heavies. Don't unbalance it. Because if you notice, how many people play a Heavy? Be honest. How many people play a Heavy or a Vanguard nowadays? Almost nobody. Everybody plays hybrids or assassins just because, those are the ones that have the best combo and the best mix-up capabilities. I think they should be all vanguards or all heavies. Release another line, just one more line of 3, one for each faction, and then move on and start For Honor 2. I really think that's what should be done because you guys have so much potential. And while you're working on For Honor 2, you can still add updates and tweak things in For Honor to keep people interested in the series while you spend as much time as needed on For Honor 2. Now, I don't know, maybe For Honor 2 is already in the works, but as far as I am aware, it is not. But there's such a big potential there, and I'm sure a lot of people have thought about it. It's just no one has attempted to do it yet. And there was a video that was released a while back. Videos called I think What For Honor Could Have Been, and it showed like it was like a really big beta level for the original For Honor, but then they changed everything about it. They completely reworked it, and the way it looked was amazing. I love the way it looked. It was a conqueror versus a lawbringer, and just the way the game functioned, it looked a lot more real. And I think that was the problem that they ran into was it looked too real, and you know the way they designed it, a conqueror would not be able to beat a lawbringer in real life. There'd be no way whatsoever would a lawbringer ever lose to a conqueror. That's just the nature of the beast. Because of the way he is designed and the way he's armored and the weapon he has, there will be no way in hell. Um, but those are my ideas for For Honor 2. I would love to hear from you guys. Love to see how many of you agree with me and how many of you have different ideas that I do. But I think it can be done. I think it should be done. And my biggest worry is that they won't do it. They won't even attempt it. Because right now they're devoting a lot of time into For Honor, and I feel like if they cared so much about For Honor and they weren't working on a For Honor 2, we would see new characters and reworks this week or this year. Um, One other thing I would love to see in For Honor is I think there's quite a few characters that need a rework. If you ask me, the top on my list is the Warden. I love the Warden. I main the Warden. I mean Rep 10 Warden. Um, this is my boy. Uh, I'm very, very, very familiar and fluent with his fight style and what he is capable of, and I don't have to spam to get around your defense. And in my opinion, you are not good with a character until you can get around somebody's defense without having to guard break them or push them. That's my opinion. If all you know how to do is take a shaman, throw a heavy attack, and then cancel the second one into a guard break to get your next hit, you aren't a good player. You really are not. That means you are relying on a free hit to win. I want to see people work for their hits. I want to see people actually trick me into getting a hit. I want to see you throw a fake and actually get me to fall for it. That's what I want to see. Anyways, Warden is at the top of my list. The second one for me is probably going to be the Warlord. Um, as you can see, I only have 3 characters that I do not have repped. I hate the Shinobi. I feel so dirty playing the Shinobi. And same thing goes with the Shaman. I like the Warlord, but he is very, very limited in what he can do. And if you get someone that's throwing constant fakes and dodging, and there's not a lot you can do. Warlord and Warden are the 2 most basic characters in the game. The Shigoki's another one. I think the Shigoki needs a little bit of a rework. If you know how to play into his passive, you can be a pretty good fighter with him. But yeah, Warden and Warlord and Shigoki I think need a heavy rework. But thanks for listening, guys. I hope to see more people jumping on my my channel. Um, I'm very new to it, trying to get it rolling. So, like, comment, subscribe. I love to hear different ideas because I'm very open about the game. Um, this has become one of my favorite games of all time. Uh, that's why I really hate losing to people that just cheese the mechanics of the game because it defeats the whole purpose of the game. Um, but thank you guys. Name's Arcane Warlord, and I'll see you guys next time.